Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a review and walkthrough Btooom Episode 3. Now, if you remember from last episode, Himiko was faced with Sakamoto. Now, in this episode, it starts out like where we left off, but it goes a different direction. We still don't know really what happens in general. Now, also in the last episode, we see a little more of Himiko's background of how she wound up on the island. But again, in this episode, she really doesn't have a full part in it. So we're just left off with her thinking guys are scum and her face to face with Sakamoto. But let's dive right into this episode. And again, I'll keep my main comments and my rating at the end of this clip, so stay tuned for them. But let's dive in. Now again, we open up this episode with Sakamoto face to face with Himiko. And she doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who she is, even though they know each other online. But again, that's where we started off, but that's not where we're going to end up. It gets a little interesting. She starts running away, Himiko, and it starts to click in Sakamoto's head that the crystals can act as a radar, like from Btooom, the game. So he started to put two and two together on how this little game works on the island. Sadly, when he tries to go find Himiko, she's not there anymore. She just ran off, and his radar picked up someone else. He turns around and looks at this guy. He's sitting down taking a crap, and this little fat guy actually steps in his own crap. It's kind of funny. And we find out his name is Tierra. Yeah, Tierra is his name, and apparently he's by himself. He was into real estate in Osaka. That's the small amount of background we do find out. And he actually asked Sakamoto if he'd like to join him. Two people, stand a better chance than just one. He also notices who Sakamoto is. Apparently, Sakamoto was actually on the same plane as him when they were dropped up at the island. And again, Tierra, he doesn't look like he's a stupid person. He looks like he's pretty smart, but also greedy, but he keeps to himself. Now, he tells Sakamoto he remembers him from the plane, and it starts to click. Like, Sakamoto was the one on the plane that spoke out, that was against this little game or whatever, and he was tasered to the head, so that's why he has a little amnesia about everything. So this is actually giving us more closure on how this game works. Now, we also find out in order to win this game, you have to collect 8 crystals, including yours, so technically you have to collect 7 different crystals from these people, and the only way to collect them is to kill them, so they pop out of your hand. So that's actually how you play this game on this island. It's a live or die scenario. This is 100% like Battle Royale. I'm just putting that out there. It is. We also find out the video game company that developed Btooom probably is behind this game as well, and they're called Tyrannus Japan. And apparently Sakamoto, before he was stunned in the head, he knew who the creator was, or he was familiar with him. There's this little guy that pops up on the screen that explains the rules, and it clicks. He knows who he is, but we don't know anything about this. We really don't know who this little fat guy is. Is he going to be a contestant? Is he actually one of the developers? We don't really know. Just that Sakamoto actually knows who he is. Now, Tierra was actually trying to partner up with Sakamoto, and Sakamoto comes up with these rules. Well, I've got one condition. Tell me what your bombs are. Because in this game, each person gets 8 different bombs. Well, 8 of the same bombs, but they're just different kind of bombs that are out there, but you get 8 of them to start out with. Now, Sakamoto's like, well, I've got a condition. Let me see yours, and I'll show you mine, because Sakamoto has 2 bags, which means he's killed someone, and Tierra only has 1. Now, what's interesting is Tierra, off the bat, said no, and his face went down like he knew what he was doing, because we've seen characters right now in this series flip around being from good to psychotic, so anything can happen. And Sakamoto kind of has this guy figured out. If this guy was able to say no, then obviously he knows a little more either about this game or what he's doing. So he's being very cautious. So it's like, okay, I'll partner up with you anyways. He'll bite the bullet. Now, they also see, it looks like a plane that's overpassing them, that's dropping supplies. So now Sakamoto knows how this little game works. Every so often, supply planes drop off stuff. Now, I'll go back to when they were still on the plane, from what Tierra could remember. We find out there's a cargo plane that looks like the military plane. We see guys that are in full body mask, in military outfits. So, suffice to say, the military may be involved in this game. We don't know. Just putting that out there. But anyways, Sakamoto sees the supplies, and he points them out. Let's let's head over there, let's go at them, you know. And they do. Sakamoto was the first up on the bridge. He also starts going after the supplies. Now, he actually pauses and he sees a woman running after one of the supplies. We find out later this. I'm trying to remember what her name was. No, actually, I think her name is Masako. She's kind of dark-skinned, and Masako, she runs for the supplies. She's got an afro. She's kind of nice, but we don't know anything about her. And she gets the supplies, and she's all psyched, and she steps on a mine. Someone got there before her and set a trap up, and she died instantly. So this new character we get to see, that Sakamoto's watching from a distance, she dies automatically. And apparently, we have this new character, a second character that's introduced. His name is Oda, and he basically kills Masako with his little mind bomb. So he's got the kind of bombs that are like mines. You step on them, you explode. So now he's got his own an extra case of bombs now, plus supplies, and he's got Masako's crystal. So right off the bat, Sakamoto's watching this from a distance off at the mountain, trying to collect supplies, but he does it, and he has a flashback. He's like, that could have been me. So he's kind of glad that Masako died, even though we don't know nothing about this new character, but she's already dead. I should also point out that Sakamoto, this kid, he says he already has one of the crystals. Remember the first character he killed by accident at the beginning? So now he's saying he has 6 crystals, you know, left to collect. But I don't remember him collecting the hand crystal. Kind of odd, right? But anyways, Sakamoto only has 6 crystals to collect, while everyone else on the island has 7, because you have to count your own crystal. So he's watching Oda collect this girl's crystal and walk away with the supplies. So he sees Tiara, and tells him everything that's happened, and they're going to go after the other supplies that he saw on the other side of the mountain. But he plays this more cool. He's like, we either have to kill or be killed. And he explains that to Tiara, and Tiara's down with that. And he's like, you know what, I was in the track team, let's go, I'm going to run ahead of you. I'm starting to question Tiara 100% on, like, WTF, this guy's got to have a really horrible background to be stuck on this island if he's just going to pretend to be, like, headstrong here. Just putting that out there. But, again, that's where we're left off. We see Sakamoto and Tiara off going at the other supplies. And again, we don't know jack about Himiko, if he's going to run into her again or not. We don't know. We also don't know who else is going to attack them. What we do know is there was a plane full of 20 to 30 people that were on that cargo plane when Tiara was describing what happened to Sakamoto, how he got tasered in the head. So we know there's about 20 to 30 people, and that this island, we actually have a better location on this island. It's located in the Pacific south of Japan. That's the island's location. That's the best description we get on where they're located. But again, we see Sakamoto and Tiara running off for the second type of supplies they see, like the second drop point. We don't know who they're going to run into, just now they're prepared to kill now, if it comes to it. Now, that ends it for my review and walkthrough right now. I'm going to do my final thoughts, and sit down, relax, this is going to be funny. I think Tiara is going to kill Sakamoto off the bat, because this guy looks like a greedy, mother. I'm not going to say it, but he's a greedy person. He has a flip switch inside his head. I think he's going to do something stupid. Now, Himiko, I don't think we're really going to see much in the next episode. I want to say she thinks guys are all scum, but if she knew who Sakamoto was, she might be more prone to teaming up with him. I mean, they were friends online, if not more, and I assume that Sakamoto was the one that married her online. I could be wrong, because remember at the beginning of the first episode, we know that Sakamoto mentions he is married online, but obviously not offline. So I'm just putting that out there, that they might actually be able to put 2 and 2 together and, I don't know, team up, but we don't know. Now, as for Oda, God, he is definitely a villain in this series. That him and another character right now, they're up there on the charts. They are survivalists. So I'm interested to see where Oda is going to be going right now. And again, in order for them to win this game, they have to collect 8 crystals each from those little radar crystals. And so far, each person needs 7 to win, because they have their own. There's only like 20 to 30 characters. That means only 2 people can actually walk off this island, if you do the math. I'm just saying, that's 14 by 14. I mean, this is Battle Royale. And I think I'll add one more final thought to this. I'm curious to see, let's see, who's actually behind this whole Btooom game. Well, I mean, we know it's Tyrannus Japan, at least we assume that's who's behind it, the developers, but I think Sakamoto knows that fat guy that was on the screen when he tried to recall what was on the cargo plane, the guy that was describing everything. I think he knows who he is, either from his job interview or something from his past. Maybe he was a teammate, a friend. We do know he believes that guy's from Tyrannus Japan. We don't know if that guy actually does work for Tyrannus Japan, just that Sakamoto actually knows or is familiar about who he is. But that ends it for my final thoughts. Rating wise, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Only I'm being generous because we get to know a lot more background right now about how he wound up on the island, another character and quick death. That's more of what I wanted in this episode, more closure on how Sakamoto got dropped on this island. But again, 4 out of 5. I feel comfortable with that. Comment down below, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe above, comment, and check me out on Twitter. Follow me if you want. I'll leave all the information down below. I always do. Again, that ends it for my review and walkthrough of Btooom Episode 3. I gotta say it, can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.